All right, we've got former Wake Forest tight end Jack Freudenthal on the show. Jack, thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, man. No, I'm excited to be here. I played football with Jared long time ago. That's how we know each other. So
Yeah, so we first, for those of you listening, Jack and I played against each other in high school. He went to Trinity Episcopal. I went to Nansemond Suffolk Academy. We played each other quite a bit.
Everyone clearly knows those high schools that's
Yes,
listening to this.
right. Yeah, we played each other quite a bit, and every game kind of seemed to be like a big game. So looking back, and we talked about this just quickly before we started. I was looking back, reminiscing on our high school days. So dating back from my freshman year in high school, I was 5-0 against Trinity. And then after we graduated, my class graduated, you guys won the state championship.
yeah,
So
okay. Yeah, you're a year older than me.
yeah, so I'm a year older than you. So am I just your kryptonite and you guys, couldn't get past us? And then once we all graduated, you got the state championship? Is that what happened?
That might be the case. Yeah, because I got there in 2012, and we were terrible my freshman year. My sophomore year,
Mm-hmm.
we played you guys in the regular season to keep you guys out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
You beat us at Nansman, I think.
Yep.
And then we played you guys again. We were the 2 seed. You guys were the 3 seed in playoffs, I think, at
Yeah.
Trinity. First home playoff game ever at Trinity. You guys somehow rolled us again. And then my junior year, I think we didn't have too good of a season. You guys kicked our ass that year, I think.
Yeah, junior year we went up to Trinity, or my senior year, your junior year, we went up to Trinity and beat you guys.
Yeah,
Did
you
you
guys
guys make the playoffs that year?
No, we were like 3-8.
Yeah, we lost in the state semis again that year. But yeah, I was like, oh, I knew that we all had beaten you guys all the time, but it was always a respectable. Like I always had a lot of respect for you guys. You, Indian Kobe, you
Yeah.
know.
Gosh. Oh my gosh. Nishant Parikh.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot about him.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, we had we had a really good team my sophomore year. Bunch of good seniors that were probably a year older than you guys or you. And then our junior year, we had a terrible year. And then my senior year, like you said, when you left that next year, we won the state title, which somehow happened. I don't know.
yeah. There's one specific play, and I don't remember what year it was. It was at Trinity. It was either my senior or junior year, but you just ran a pass play and just ran down the seam down the middle of the field, and I was right in your hip pocket, and Indian Kobe made a great pass over the shoulder catch, and my buddy Michael, who was the corner number
Yes,
11.
Sydney.
What's up?
He went to Ham Sydney,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. He went to Hampton Sydney. So he came over to me. He's like, "Hey, man, what happened on that play?" And I'm like, "Yo, he just made a hell of a catch. Like, there's nothing I could do."
Oh goodness. Yeah.
So that was high school. Good times, the glory days. For me, for you, your glory days might have started at Wake Forest.
I
So
mean, that ring I won my senior in high school might have been the best out of all the rings I have.
that's a fair point.
But yeah, man, gosh, it's
So
such a good
you
round.
so you went to Wake Forest, and just kind of tell everybody your story, starting from the recruiting process. You were recruited and went to Wake Forest as a preferred walk on. Were there other offers? Were there scholarships available? And kind of what led you to Wake? And then once you got there, kind of what happened to lead to the career that you had?
Yeah, I graduated in 15 from Trinity. I was a 190-pound receiver trying to get recruited, bunch of different places. I did the whole recruiting circuit going to my senior year. Me and my mom drove up and down the coast. I went to so many different small schools. I went to Bucknell. I went there
Yes,
and
I
did their
remember that.
camp, I think. I was out there. Actually, remember, I think I saw
Yeah,
you
the
when I was
junior day.
it was
Bef-
junior day. Yeah, I was there.
before we go any further, why not Bucknell?
They didn't offer me anything.
What?
They didn't offer me anything, and I was gonna pay a ton of money to go
No,
play
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. You don't want to do that.
So if I was gonna roll the dice, I wanted to roll the dice at a big school in Gull,
Yeah.
and so
Wow. Okay, I did not know
Bucknell.
this.
Yeah, no. So I went to Bucknell, Lehigh, like Holy Cross, and then I hit some bigger schools like JMU, William and Mary, and then obviously I went to like UVA camps, tech camps. Like I went to a bunch of schools, and so like I wanted to play. Like I just wanted to play Division I football. That was my goal. But I would also take money if I had a scholarship anywhere. But I did not get any scholarship. Like nothing, no halves, no partials. And I had another walk-on offer at William and Mary that I could have pursued, but I just I talked to my parents. Like my goal was to play at a Division I school and, a Power 5 school like Wake Forest. I mean, I went there, I camped. They said they were high on me. Like said that there's a scholarship, there could be one at the end of the road. Obviously, like they kind of lead people on in the recruiting process. I think most people can. Once you go through it, you know how it works. And then I ended up getting a walk-on offer after one of the games I visited. And, I talked to my parents, great school, gets me in, like, screw it. Like, let's do it. It's expensive, but, hopefully it works out. And I walked on and, the rest of history. I earned a scholarship my sophomore year. And I went there. I was literally 190 pounds as a receiver, walk-on receiver. 2 days after I got there, they moved me to tight end because the tight end in my class I was on scholarship got hurt and quit. And so we didn't have a tight end in my class, and it was either me or like this freak receiver that was like supposed to be a beast, and he turned out to be a beast. They didn't move him, so they moved me. And I was like, God, I'm like behind like 10 guys, like I'm 190 pounds. What am I supposed to do? So like those first year and a half, I was just eating, shoveling food in my face, and gained a bunch of weight, and then played a bunch of special teams, got on scholarship, and then ended up playing my junior and senior year.
Yeah, I want to hear a little bit more about the process from going and earning that scholarship spot. Because like you said, being a walk-on, you're behind a ton of guys. And, what did you do to kind of show out in practice, in the weight room, in the film room? How did you gain the coach's trust, and how did you gain your teammates' trust and eventually get that scholarship offer?
Paul, that's a great question. It's I think it's a lot of things that are encompassed in doing that. It's like when I first got there, like you said, I was like a bunch of people. I'm behind a bunch of people. Like, how am I supposed to make a name for myself? Like, you can't really think in a broad. You can't think too far down the road, And so it's like I just have to think about getting to that next meal, doing what my next goal is, which is like, okay, eat a ton this meal, like follow the food plan they put me on, go to the next workout, make it to the next meeting. Like I'm also like a freshman, like everyone else, like trying to survive. Like it's tough. Like, like it's not easy, no matter whether your scholarship or walk on. Like it's tough to get through those workouts and stuff that whole first year. And it helped having like a couple guys in the tight end room that kind of took me under the wing. Like a bunch of guys that were really successful. Like Cam Serenay was a guy. I was his backup for a couple of years. Beast receiver or beast tight end. He has the record for receptions, touchdowns, and yards in the ACC in history. Like he was a beast. And so I was under his wing initially, and he kind of just following in his footsteps really helped me. But like the biggest thing was just being playable, like being trustworthy and playable. And so those things come with just getting under the coaches, like basically in meetings and stuff like that, not like asking the right questions, showing up for meetings on time, and never getting on lists. Like that's the thing that we always said, like stay off lists. Don't be, it doesn't matter if most lists that they're going to bring up are bad lists. So don't get on any lists. And I try to do those things right. I actually was never late to in a meeting or workout ever in my career, which is like, I think that was one of my biggest accomplishments, I thought, because it's such a hard thing to do. And then I guess special teams is the reason I think I got a scholarship so quick, was because like if you're a tight end or like linebacker or one of those hybrids types of positions, you can get on the teams a lot quicker. So I was also lucky that my tight ends coach was a special teams coordinator. So he was like plugging guys in and out that he trusted. So my first unit I got on was kickoff return my freshman year. And then going into my sophomore year, I was on like 3 units. So that allowed me, because then I was allowed to play like 15, 20 plays a game. And that's kind of like the benchmark for being on a scholarship or not. If you're playing at least 15 snaps, you should be pushing for a scholarship, and, it worked out. But, it's a grind. There's no exact recipe to get a scholarship.
Right.
It's case by case. So.
No, but I think that's good for, for our listeners to hear, because I have a younger brother, and I know we have some, younger listeners because of him. And just with everything COVID going on with recruiting, I know there's going to be a lot of people disappointed when they don't get scholarships. And I think it's important for guys to hear that, even though you don't start with one, there's a chance you might end with one, and there's different processes to how you can earn that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And, like I said, I mean, if you're like a hybrid body, like if you're a tight end, linebacker, like receiver, DB, those guys, like a lot of people get so fixated on like, I want to start. If you think about it, there's only 22 guys that play. Like whether you like it or not, it's 22, 23, 24 guys that play the whole year. I mean, obviously injuries and stuff, it changes, but if you look at special teams, like that's how you get on the field.
Right.
And because I didn't start till my junior and senior year. I didn't start until those 2 years. In my junior year, I redshirted. That's my senior year of school. Like I'd been there that was my 4th year in the program, so it takes a long time to get there. But if I didn't have special teams or I didn't buy into the teams and like do all the things right to, play that many snaps before I started, I wouldn't have been on scholarship until my junior, senior year, So, and other people, like 2017, my redshirt sophomore year, I averaged like 40, 45 snaps a game, and I didn't start a single game. Like I played, I was a 4-unit guy, and I was on PAT, so I'm playing like 45 snaps a game, and that's a lot of snaps. You're invested in the game, and I'm not even playing on offense. So, special teams are a big thing if you want to end up earning a scholarship.
So yeah, I actually love to hype on how important special teams are because I don't know if Jared told you or not, but I actually played at Pitt one year. It was the year we actually won the Coastal at Wake.
Oh my God, I'll never forget that one.
So before
that was embarrassing too because you guys were like 5-8 or something. I mean, it was like you guys had a good year, but it was like.
Hold on. So I actually want to touch exactly on what you're saying. So we started off the year ice cold. I think we blew out Albany. We didn't even really piss pound them. We beat them like 33-7, but I don't think we scored in the second half. Then Penn State wiped the floor with us.
I think it was 50-something to 3.
51-6. 51-6. Penn State.
They went to the Rose Bowl?
No, they that was the year they lost to Kentucky in the Camping World Bowl or some type. No, it wasn't the Camping World. I forget what bowl it was. But Penn State actually had an iffy year that year. But needless to say, words. Needless to say, thank you, Jared. We were like 1-2 or 1-3 or 2-3 or something, and we just rattled off like 6 straight.
Rolling, I remember that
6 straight games where we just won in the Coastal, and we get to you guys, and then we came out.
It was clinch or not. If you
right,
you had to beat us.
Right, and we came in and ready, fired up, and the game was. I remember the game was close at halftime. I don't remember if you guys were winning or what it was, but
down by a score or something like that.
Yeah, and our senior captain Dennis Briggs, who rarely was just like a lead by action guy, didn't talk, just comes in the locker room like crazy and just goes off, and we just came out in the second half and we're just ready to go. So. Yeah,
you guys blew us out. We lost by like I think 2 or 3 scores.
Yeah, that was a special game and a really cool moment.
So,
go ahead, Jared.
So that means what? I beat you 3 times, and Colin beat you once.
Yeah,
man, this is a podcast.
Yeah, you're like 0 for 4.
Okay.
Gosh.
Colin, you know Romani Dorsey?
Yeah, I know Dors.
He went to my high school.
No way. So that means
he was in my class. I know him. Oh yeah.
Oh, so that means Jared would have played.
So we would have beat. Was he there?
I don't know. He came out and he's my class. So he went to Pitt and played there he played.
But was he there in high school, or did you guys have a transfer come in or something after?
No, he wasn't. No, he transferred in like my freshman year.
Okay, so he was there the whole time. So I beat him too.
Yeah, you beat him too.
Oh, no way. Yeah, Dorps is a great guy. He was actually one of the first people I became friends with on the team.
Yeah, he's funny. Really good dude. Good outspoken dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. But the whole point of how that conversation came up was I was just trying to say, so I transferred to Pitt for my 5th year after I played at Bucknell with Jared. But I was just same thing. Special teams just came in, preferred walk-on. Special teams, on the field, X amount of snaps. So I have a special place in my heart for special teams. So I love hearing you kind of just echo that.
Special teams, like literally, like I stats, whatever it may be. My favorite stats ever was I led the team in tackles on special teams my junior and senior year, which I will forever love being able to say that because I bought in. I love it. Like my senior, like I was on kickoff return all 4 years of my career. I never missed a single game of kickoff return, which I was pumped to say because kickoff return, if you've been on KOR, you know how it got easier as the years progressed because they changed the rules. But it used to be like you were a dog if you're on kickoff return.
We had to have gone against each other on.
We got to run
I'm assuming
the
you were
back.
I'm assuming you were one of the wedge guys in the back.
Yeah,
right?
Initially it was the wedge my freshman sophomore year, and then they changed it. You can't lock on.
What, two guys?
Then
whatever.
it was people, and then it used to be where you couldn't be 2 people. My senior year, you had to come together.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Make attack initially. It's basically a wedge. But yeah, I was always the backside guys, like my whole career.
We had because my job against you guys was
Were you like the L5, R5?
I was the L2.
L2. Okay, so you came down by the alley.
Yeah, and I had to split you guys. I always had to split
Were
the
you field
two.
side or boundary side?
So we kicked to the left, so I would have been boundary then.
You were boundary? Okay. Because we always ran our stuff to the boundary and then that like had a reverse field. So I'm pretty sure I probably came down to try to block you maybe at some
This is
point.
great content. I love this.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, our schemes were very simple. We either go boundary with the back two guys coming together or it's like a field return.
Right. So
Yeah, we
that's
gotta
funny.
we gotta run the tape. We gotta find go back to
That was in
Nona
17, right?
Arca.
That was 2017?
That would have been
No,
2018.
2018, fall
18,
of
right?
18.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's 18. Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, I started all 4 units in 18 too. Yeah, so I was definitely on back there. Okay.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I actually sprained my ankle that game. It might have been you that blocked me that led to my sprained ankle.
This
Probably
could be.
not. Kickoff return. I'm not hurting anybody on kickoff return.
No, it was so weird. So the returner bounced it, and so when I originally am going in to fit the wedge, and I see him bounce it, and I go to plant, and I turn, and I just get like barely touched, but then I just roll my ankle. And it was very frustrating and a little embarrassing, but at the same time,
Oh, it's not embarrassing. No, if you're on kickoff or kickoff return, I have so much respect for people that do that because it's just like even on kickoff, I was on kickoff a lot. Running down on kickoff, it's like it's all a blur. But then if you watch
Yeah.
back, like you can think of what you were thinking about when you're running. It's
Yeah.
just bodies everywhere. It's like
it's
everything.
it's kind of crazy because I really enjoyed like splitting the wedge. Like there's something that's like as weird as it sounds, like I know like I'm getting crushed, but just like it's kind of self-fulfilling when you are able to successfully split a wedge. Like it's just a really cool feeling.
Yeah, no, I mean you move one of the guys and dip and rip or whatever.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Memory.
That's exactly right. I will say I hate kickoff return. That was the
terrible.
worst.
Oh yeah, no, I absolutely hated it. I mean, I took
Right.
pride. I had to be that guy. I was like, come on,
Yeah.
let's do it. But, like,
Right.
oh, well.
All right,
That's exactly right.
I have a question in regards to your favorite game. So is it you're the NC State killer?
Wolfpack's there you go.
So is it the 3 touchdown game or is it the game-winning touchdown when they're ranked 14th on Thursday Night Football on ESPN?
Dude, that one was cool. Yeah, I mean, God, yeah, I mean, obviously, you got to say that was like my favorite play. I guess it was pretty cool. It was like, yeah, I definitely got the most text and like most. I was blown up on my phone after that game, and
Yeah.
like, but that's not my favorite game. Okay, I guess that's my favorite like aftermath of the game. Like that was
Right.
pretty cool. But that game, if you look at the stats, like I had 0 catches. Going into that last, I did nothing the whole game. Like I was blocking. I did decent. I graded out well on the game. Like I did fine. But like we have so many athletes on the like our team was so good. I had 1 catch for like 35 yards and a touchdown. Like that was all I did the game. So it was cool to have that happen. And the play was sick because we were trying to kick a field goal. Like I don't know if you guys watched the game or remember what happened, but we were down 3, and we had like we had like a minute and a half and the ball on our 25, and like we run 2-minute all the time in practice. Like you guys know how it is. Like we run that all the time. So we were ready to go. And that was actually Jamie Newman, our quarterback's first start ever. And like we were not supposed to be in that game at all. And then so we drove down in 2-minute. We're supposed to kick a field goal. We ran a play that I'm not even supposed to get the ball. I ran a slant return.
What's the play? What's the play call? Do you remember the play call?
Oh yeah, it was Randy Special Saturn. No, I remember the play.
Okay.
That's something weird. Yeah, I remember the play. So it's Randy Special Saturn. We were in empty, and I'm supposed to run a slant return, and it's a double jig. So the field guy is running a slant return. Boundary's running a hitch, and I'm supposed to run a slant return. But they brought house blitz cover 0. They're trying to like kill our quarterback, like mess him up. The free safety's 40 yards off the ball. They run house blitz. I'm the hot route, so I break off on a hitch. Jamie throws me the ball, gets lit up. The free safety's so far away, he comes down, and then our boundary slant, he runs into the safety. So I catch the ball, turn around, no one's there. And I just take off. And like, I mean, it was 1 in a million. Like it happened. Their defensive coordinator got fired, I think, like 3 weeks later. Like it was a terrible call in the situation. They ran literally house blitz 0, and it worked out.
That was the Greg Williams, the Jets defense quarter against the Raiders this year when he
blitzes everyone.
he just sent the house and
fourth.
Yeah.
So that was, I mean, obviously that was a cool play, but yeah, the NC State 3 touchdown game was pretty lit.
That was what it was 3 catches, 3 touchdowns, right?
It was okay. So I always tell people it was 3 catches, 3 touchdowns, 16 yards, but my real stat line I think was 4 catches, 3 touchdowns, 16 yards.
It doesn't sound as cool.
It doesn't sound cool. So I always say it was 3 catches, 3 touchdowns, 16 yards. But yeah, that was cool, man. Going into that week, our offensive coordinator, we put this whole red zone game plan of like, we're running like, I was going to run out into the flat. Like we set up all these plays. Like it's like 12 personnel. Like I'm running into the flat, like bluffing, like I'm blocking a kick out as a fullback.
Yeah.
And like, we actually ran those plays and they never blocked me. Like everything covered me. It worked out. It was hilarious.
That's great.
Awesome.
All right. I have John Wolford. So he's one of your boys.
Oh, that's my guy.
He's obviously been this past season towards the end of the year, the story of him, signing with the Rams in week, 16 or whatever, and then got to start in week 17. And then the playoff game, he came in and started. So just want to talk about him real quick. How cool is it for you to see him get this opportunity? He's 1-0 as a starter in the playoffs, 2-0. So he
technically by stats, he's 2-0.
Even though he got hurt in the Seattle game, which obviously sucked because, he probably would have won that game, if he played the whole way. They obviously still won. But just want to talk about, him and your relationship with him and kind of how cool it is to see him, get that opportunity the end of the year.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, it's insane. But yeah. So he graduated in 17. And he's 2 years older than me. Yeah. He's one of my best friends. He's just a grinder. Like I'm telling you, like the guy, like lives and breathes football. He is the most determined, absolutely most determined person I've ever met knowing football. Like he lives and breathes it. Like he has Tom Brady's TB12 book, like lives and does everything Tom Brady. So like he's so invested in it, and it's so cool to see him be successful because like when he came out of college, he had like he got like the scholar athlete, or he got the business school at Wake Forest like award for like most likely to be successful or something.
So he was a nerd.
Oh, he's a huge nerd. Yeah, really smart guy. Like he had an investment banking job, set out to make like 6 figures right out of college, and like put that on hold and got on the Jets practice squad for a year or almost a year, and then got cut, then got picked up for an AAF like hot shots. He was on them for like 6 weeks. League collapsed. Was working out by himself for like 6 months, and then got picked up by the Rams practice squad, and then he got promoted to active roster this past season. And then for him to get an opportunity like that to play, on a clinching game against the Cardinals, and then he played really well. I mean, it was so awesome to see. Like we were going nuts at home, like absolutely losing our minds. And I don't know if you guys watched the game, but his first throw, he threw a pick, and my whole house went silent. I was watching with my parents, and like, I mean, I wasn't too nervous because I know John, like he's thrown thousands of picks of 1,000 interceptions at Wake Forest, and he knows how to take it on the chin. And I mean, obviously he came back and did well to finish the game off. And then in the Seattle game, like he was driving and he got that freak injury. He's good now. I mean, he's ready to go for next year. And
that's good.
I gotta say, I'm a big fan of his now. I wish I would have knew this story before that clinching game. I bet on the Cardinals when lost money on that because I was like,
no, I bet the Rams against the Cardinals. I don't know. Yeah, you bet the Cardinals. Okay.
I bet the Cardinals. So I lost money. I'm like, who's this guy? I'm like, he's Kyler Murray.
I was locked in. I knew they were gonna win the game, 100%.
Yeah, and talking about the pick, he throws the pick, and on the sideline they immediately go to him on the camera, and he's just like, "I'm good."
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah. He says to McVay, like, "Yeah, I'm good. We're good."
He's got such like a cool demeanor to him, and like I know he's one of your friends, but he doesn't look like he's an elite athlete. He doesn't look like he's one of the top 50 quarterbacks in the world right now. Like he's just kind of got this look to him. It's like this guy is gonna do it, but like you said, he's a baller, and it's definitely cool. It's been cool to watch at least his story develop the last couple weeks of the season.
Yeah, oh, it's insane. And me knowing him, like I know he's gonna be successful. Like I personally think he should be a starting quarterback in the NFL, big contract, and he's gonna be successful. Like he's gonna lead some teams. Obviously they just did the trade. Matthew Stafford.
Well, people forget that Stafford got traded there, but he has to beat out Wolford. So people aren't talking about that enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, so hey. I'm not gonna say anything, but I talked to John. He's obviously gonna he's gonna try to get that spot. If Goff stayed there, it would have been open competition. And I think John's in a great offense. Sean McVay's a great coach, and John in that system can thrive. So I'm excited for him going forward.
Yeah, I liked how they were doing like the read option with him and letting him use his legs. Like they didn't do that with Goff, and
can't do that with Goff. And
Yeah.
you can only do that with certain quarterbacks. And I think him going into next year, his biggest thing is to put a little bit more weight on. Like he's kind of like a Russell Wilson type body. He's almost the exact same height as Russell Wilson. But like Russell's got like 15 pounds on him. So I think if you can put a little bit more weight on, you'll be more durable. And, being a running quarterback, you got to be able to slide. And I think that's something he's got to get better at too. So.
Yeah, not get hit in the head by Jamal Adams. Was that a cheap shot? What are your thoughts? Or was that just football?
Me being a friend of John and wanting to be successful, I'm going to say like throw a flag, I don't know. But I think it's like if it's a first down or a goal line, like, make that play, like do that. But it was kind of a pointless thing to do that. There's no gain, it was like on the line of scrimmage. And it was just, I guess, a tone setting hit because it's first quarter, juices are kind of flowing. Yeah. I don't blame them, but it shouldn't have happened. So.
Do you have like a good John Wolford story, like locker room story? I think of like the Minshew story where he's like in his jock strap, like doing curls in the locker room. Like I feel like John would be a similar kind of just off the wall kind of guy.
Yeah, he's a dork. I got two stories. So like actually this one's recent. It was like, well, this one's not as funny, but it's like I was with him a couple weekends ago. We were in New York visiting a couple buddies, and this was like a week and a half after the season ended. And like you're supposed to decompress, like take a couple days off. Like you're supposed to take like 10 days off or something once the season ends as a player. So we get there and like we went out one night and like with some buddies, drank and stuff or whatever. And then that morning I'm hungover. Like I want nothing to do with doing anything.
Yeah.
John texts me like 8:30. Wake up to a text at 8:30. He's like, Jack, like, you want to go to the gym? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? So then he gets me up. We go to the gym and he does like exercises and like all this stuff. For, like 15, 20 minutes. We run all this stuff. Like I'm trying to throw up and like he's still grinding. Like this guy can't stop working. But like once my true freshman year, he was a going into his true sophomore year. He just started as a true freshman at Wake. The first time I ever met him, I knew who he was because like he started quarterback. Like he's the guy, and I'm a freaking freshman. I've been there a week. It was in our dorm. There's like a common area where everyone hangs out and plays ping pong and stuff. Yeah. I walk in there and I'm like playing ping pong. And John walks in, no shirt on, just almost like so dark. He's tan as heck. Been at the pool like all day. Comes in there with a backwards upside down visor. Walks in and he's like, and I'm playing ping pong and he looks at me and he's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "I'm Jack. Like, what's up?" And he's like, "No, I'm John." I'll never forget. I'm like, "Hi, John." And like, "You want to play ping pong?" He's like, "Yeah, like, let's play." He thought he's supposed to be like really good at ping pong. Yeah. So we played ping pong, and then I beat him the first game. It was like 21-12 or something. Like I smoked him, and then he like I could see his face. Like the competitor in him was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Yeah. And then we play another game. And I think like I can't remember if he won or I won. It was like a really close game, and we're both sweating, like going at it playing ping pong. And we finished the game. He throws his paddle down and he like looks over at me. He's like, "Yeah, man, it's nice to meet you. I like you." And then walked away. literally just walked away. Like no words, like just walked away. And like from that moment on, like we actually became pretty close. Like a couple months later, and like as time went on. But like the first time I met him, and like up until this day, like the most competitive person ever, hates losing, and he's a man of few words. But once you get to know him, he can be funny sometimes.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Now, my last question, I don't know if Jed has any other questions, but my last question is, why is Wake Forest not better at recruiting? Because Wake Forest is beautiful. Like, how do you guys not get guys to go there? Because that's one of the most beautiful campuses I've ever been on.
Yeah, no, God, it's insane. I don't know. I mean, well, I guess would say like my freshman year to this point, like it's been like monumentally different, like facility wise. Like, I don't know, you guys haven't seen our facilities, but they're top notch now. We have an indoor facility. They're building a new locker room, insane weight room. Like they're building all the stuff. They're getting the funds. But I would just say maybe it would be the success of the school. I don't know. I mean, we've had some success in recent years, but I think it's just because of.
You also have to play Clemson every year, and you can't get to the ACC championship because of that.
Yeah, I guess it's like you can't have like the monumental success, I guess, because maybe the structure of the ACC. I mean, it's just like we're guaranteed bowl. I mean, we're a team that's going to have at least 6 wins going forward, I think.
Right.
And the trend's obviously going upward. We've gotten so many better players, and our recruiting class has been trending upwards. But it's just like it's hard to compete, like you said, with like a Clemson or like. I guess we're doing well against NC State and Duke and UNC, but
I just like when we're driving on, the bus after, we get on the plane or get off the plane, get on the bus, and we're driving through. I'm like, what the heck am I doing at Pitt? I should have came down to Wake.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I think they're not, but also Coach Clausen, his mantra is it's a developmental program. Like he doesn't recruit. I mean, it'd be awesome if you can get a 4-star, 5-star.
Right.
Recruit. But like in my career, we had like 3 4-star recruits. Maybe they've played 30 snaps combined. 2 of them transferred. Like it's just
right.
I think it's tougher. I mean, obviously, I'm saying like 4 or 5-star recruits, they can be good, but it's a developmental program. Like a lot of guys, it's really difficult to come in and play as a true freshman because they don't have that type of skill when you come to Wake. Like if you look at guys that are invested in the program and they get to their 2nd, 3rd, 4th year, they turn around some really good players. Like you said, can they recruit better? I would love for us to get 4-star, 5-star recruits. That'd be awesome. But I just don't know if it's in the cards for the smallest Power 5 school, which Wake Forest is.
Actually lied. I do have one more question. Jared, do you have any more questions?
I do. We're running out of time, so we got to hurry up.
We got 5 minutes. Let's roll.
I know.
Jared, your question's probably more
long. I got to slow down. Sorry.
Jared, go ahead. You can ask yours.
Okay, my last question, and I'll make it quick. So the Jack Swerve days.
Oh, jeez.
So
how do you know about that? I don't even remember.
When you were in high school, I followed you on Twitter because we played each other all the time.
Oh, Jack Swerve, yeah.
You were Jack Swerve. Like you were the Call of Duty like master. You were like ahead of the Twitch times. Like
so
what you were doing would be like perfect in today's world.
Yeah, so I was the Call of Duty god. I started streaming Fortnite before anything became popular. Like I was like one of the first people to Fortnite, I think. I started like early days. Yeah. And like I streamed a ton on Fortnite and I was like, this is my stuff. Like I got really good. Like I was ahead of the curve. And then I'm actually affiliated. Like while I was at Wake, I made like $200 streaming, like just off of bootleg stuff on my PS4. And then I had to put it down because I was like football, video games.
Yeah, I figured that's what happened.
No, honestly, looking back at it, I should have picked video games because if I could have gotten before everyone else when Fortnite I could have been so successful maybe.
That's so funny.
Jack Swerve. That's my gamer tag.
Jack Swerve. That's where it came from.
I don't even know why I ever became Jack Swerve. Someone just called me Swerve and it just stuck. I don't know.
I liked it. I was down with it.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
I did that for a while. Some people still call me Swerve. So I'm a good buddy.
All right, Swerve, last question for you here. It's really not important, but for me, I just like to know outside perspective.
Yep.
When you guys see Pitt on your schedule, is there anything at all you fear, or is that a game you circle and we're like, we're going to win this game?
That's a W. They put it in Sharpie.
I think we played you guys once in my career.
Okay.
Maybe twice. It might have been my 2015. I didn't play. I redshirted. I don't remember a lot of those games. But yeah, I would say I'm not one to look ahead on the schedule. Like my first 2 years, I would say like I'm a circle kind of guy.
Yeah.
But if you have a program with guys that start circling stuff on the schedule, that's not a good program. You guys will lose.
Right.
I think
that's a great point.
If I was a guy that would circle games on the schedule, saying like W's, I think I would circle Pitt. I think I would circle Pitt. I'm not gonna say I didn't do that when I was like captain or whatever. Like I couldn't be a guy doing that. Like,
but as a fan now,
As a fan, I'm all in on all that stuff. Yeah, if I'm a circle guy now, like which I am, Pitt's 100% getting circled.
Big circle guy.
If we lose that game, we got issues. I think.
All right, that's good to know.
But like then on the other hand of it, like if you're a team playing Wake Forest, I mean, depends on the year, I guess. But like I think a lot of circles would be drawn on Wake Forest if you're playing.
Honestly, I think most of the ACC is like that right now, except for Clemson.
Yeah, no, I agree. Which is weird because like my first couple of years, it was like
it used to be packed.
We're going through the gauntlet playing Florida State, NC State, UNC, Wake or Clemson. Like it was a gauntlet, and then Louisville was a gauntlet. Like there's
gotta say it's crazy how bad Florida State got and how fast they got bad.
Yeah, we beat Florida State for the first time in like 20 years.
This last year they got routed.
Yeah, actually, even worse. When we played Florida State at Florida State in 2018, I scored a touchdown, and I found out later, it was the first touchdown we have scored at Florida State in 10 years.
Jeez.
That's awesome.
Isn't that insane?
That's nuts.
Oh, we lost the game, but like I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, man, it's like it's a little downward trend, but Pitt's getting circled. I'm sorry. It's getting circled.
I love
I think
it.
we got to wrap it up there.
Yeah, that's a good way to end it. Jack, plug anything you want, Instagram, or if you don't want to plug anything, that's fine. But this is your 10 seconds.
I would say like a couple years ago, I would plug my Instagram and Twitter, but I privatized everything. Like I'm a working man now. My
You're in the corporate world.
done. My platforms are done.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming on. It was really dope to catch up with you because we haven't spoken since the Bucknell Junior Day. And shout out Bucknell for not giving you a scholarship. What were they thinking?
Best decision they've ever made.
We could have all been boys, and now, but yeah, it definitely worked out for you, no doubt, because of your hard work. So we really appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks, guys. Jared, Colin, I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me. And I'll repost this on my Instagram and stuff. So
dope.
Appreciate it, man. Means a lot.
Yeah, thanks, guys.